Hello, beautiful YouTube community. My name is Emily. Big welcome to anyone who may be tuning in for the first time. Today, I'm excited because we're talking about the Lionsgate portal, which is an actual portal according to the spiritual center of our solar system, as the ancients knew, Sirius, and the alignment with the earth, and the alignment with certain ley lines on the earth, and the opening of the Lionsgate Stargate portal. Okay, a lot of times in the New Age ways, people call things portals that aren't really portals. Lionsgate is a legit portal, and I want to help us all make the most use and best use of it. And so today, what I channeled was 3 windows of opportunity that are actually opening at this time that we can, if we so choose to, take advantage of. And some of these were quite unexpected, so I think they're pretty rad and I'm excited. Okay, now, you can't really see it on the camera, but the skies here are really not good the last few days because of the wildfires. And my throat is dry and just hasn't been at its best. So I'm gonna try to get through this and also do some light codes. So I apologize if my light codes aren't as in tune, but yeah, they should be fine. I've really never been trained as any type of professional singer, and so the fact that I have been given the gift of light codes, I do not know why, but that is how it has been. Okay, now I'm in celebration. I didn't have a lion top, but I did have leopards, and this is actually my pajama top, but you know, sometimes I wear it out. I like it. Okay, let us begin. Divine surrendering is the first window of opportunity that is being offered to us. Okay, now maybe you have already done this. Maybe you have already surrendered to the divine. I certainly have years ago. But there comes a point in any person's journey, and most of the time this happens for people when they're like in a bad way and they're literally like, there's nothing left to do but to surrender to divine. When you are surrendering to the divine source creator, the God source creator of all life, you're basically being like, God source, my destiny is in your hands. And, you know, there should be comfort in being able to surrender to the divine, because the divine is omnipotent, all powerful, omniscient, all knowing, right? All seeing, all sensing, all feeling, all hearing. The divine is omnibenevolent. It is a loving presence of light and love and peace and joy and wisdom and creativity. And, you know, divine surrendering is about the relaxation, the letting go of control, the relinquishing of like, I'm trying to do this my way. And it's more of just like an opening to God's source flowing through you in any way God's source knows how. So I want to share with you a little thing you can say in this window of opportunity if you'd like, which is something I, Emily, myself have said to God, which is, God source creator, move through me, move my fingers, move my thoughts, listen through my ears, see through my eyes, use the very best of what you find here to help serve and fulfill the divine will and the divine plan. Okay? Now, those are my words. You don't have to use my words. You can use your own words, but I'm just giving you an example of what it means to talk to the divine source creator and to surrender yourself to God's will and God's plan. And, you know, control is an illusion. It is an illusion that we have control over anything, right? When you're being moved by the maker, when you're like literally just being moved by the maker, you do nothing. It is God's source that does all through you. And that is such a beautiful thing, and that is an opportunity at this time that any human being who wants it gets to take it. And we're in a pivotal moment here on Earth, you know, like portals are huge potential shifters. Like there's little potentials that exist in the quantum field. Some people refer to these as timelines, but they are, what could be, what is possible for humanity, for existence. And so in a portal, when a portal opens, huge amounts of light stream into our earth. And we want to be able to receive that light. And so surrendering to divine will is one way that we can receive more of that light, this opportunity. Okay? And yeah, you can ask also to be filled with divine inspiration and to be led and guided and to really just be like one little finger on the hand of the Holy One, just to do God's will, to do Goddess's will, to do the divine source's will. And that is so beautiful. I do not believe that God and Goddess are different or separate from each other. When they are truly yoked, that is what the divine source power is. Okay, that is the way I feel it in my heart. You, of course, can always retain a different opinion. Now, the next window of opportunity. I feel excited by this one. It is a fuller expression of God-given bequeathed desire in the heart and soul of what is truly love. Okay, I was a little curious about bequeathed coming through as the word. So bequeathed is like something that is handed down or left by will, delivered, bestowed, like it's basically like given, like something that is given by God's source in this case, a fuller expression of God-given bequeathed desire. And I will read exactly what I wrote. The desires that are bequeathed unto us by God's source creator are pure and unique to each of our individual soul's blueprint. I'm going to read that one more time. The desires that are bequeathed unto us by God's source creator are pure and unique to each of our individual soul's blueprint. We are to listen deeply to those desires that arise within the balanced core of our heart. Right? Your heart is your balancer. Your heart knows what the path is because the heart is taking into consideration your lower chakras, right? Your Urstar chakra, your Muladhara chakra, your Svadhisthana chakra, your Manipura chakra, and then your Anahata chakra and your high heart chakra, Hrit Padma, right? Balances Vishuddhi chakra, Agnya chakra, and Sarhaswara chakra, and then your soul star chakra. And there are other chakras, minor chakras, like in your hands and your ears and other places. But you as a being can really hear what the upper dimensional part of you, multidimensional part of you, the angelic soul source stream part of you is like guiding your mission and your earthly desires, your needs, your wants, your fears. The fish like that. The fish is like, yes, like we want to hear. God's source creator doesn't want you to go without your needs being met and fulfilled, but we have to learn to listen from this place. Okay? Desire that is going to seek to harm ourselves or any other. Like a lot of people are dealing with demonic, satanic thoughts of self-harm, suicidal ideations, ideas that they're a piece of shit, like all this stuff. It's not true, right? Because a desire that's coming from God, source, is never going to want you to harm yourself or harm any other, right? And if you ever are receiving a desire like that, you need to know it is an imposter desire, right? It's an imposter. And we all need to take the time to clarify and refine our desires until we really feel them emanating from our heart. And that feeling of wanting and wishing and yearning for something is truly coming from that place of wholeness. And when we feel that, it is definitely in alignment with divine will and divine plan, because the heart, the human heart, always offers the clearest signal, especially when the human heart is not being blocked, right? A lot of people have heart walls up. A lot of people have been deeply hurt and they have put on heart armor. A lot of people have, put objects in their breast tissue that create differences in their heart. But when the heart is free and clear of any type of blocks, physical or emotional, it will always give you the clearest signal, okay? And I have a light code for this. Before I give my light codes, I just want to say my light codes are only for those people that God Source Creator chooses them to be for, right? This is a public space, and I, Emily, am a really deeply sensitive human being. And so for my own protection in this public space, and also for other people's protection who may not be ready to receive my light code for any reason, I just ask that Divine Source Creator be the decider of who receives my light codes. And yeah, that is my true intention, always, that my light codes will be of highest good and highest service to you and me. And if it's not true for either of us, then the light code will not be for you. And that is just my choice. I know people feel differently about different light codes, and my light codes are very potent, and they, I like to be able to give specific light codes. And so I'm not here to just give big general light codes. Sometimes I am, but most of the time I am more like a skilled surgeon in the way that I am able to give light codes. Okay, now, this lion's gate, this window of opportunity to receive a fuller expression of your God-given bequeathed desire, I want you to know that your heart is the great balancer of above and below. We've already talked about this. So messages coming from your heart, this lion's gate, they should be taken seriously by you, right? And they should be acted upon, right? We're all guilty of feeling something coming through our heart and not taking the action. But if you hear to go somewhere, go there. If you hear to create something, create something. If you hear that you need to eat something specific, eat it. If you hear that you need a specific type of flower near you or by you, go get the flower and get it near you. If you hear you have to put a certain crystal on a certain place on earth, go do it. If you hear that you need to listen to a specific song, listen to it. If you hear that you need to send a thank you note or send an apology, do that. If you feel like you need to pick up an instrument that you haven't played in 3 years, but suddenly you're like, oh my God, I need to pick that up and sing a song, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Like listen to what the heart is sending through and take those actions this lion's gate. Because it is so fun to participate in the symphony of beauty and joy and goodness that is occurring at this time. Oh yeah, the light code. Si a ma na wa siata ka is as was is wasa sia ka wash as is a rapatata. Okay. Now, the third window of opportunity. Okay. Now, this is pretty cool, actually, and it's huge. It's like on a huge scale. I heard that this lion's gate, there's going to be a clearing, like a full clearing of all outdated soul contracts or failed soul contracts. Okay, now these are two different types. Outdated soul contracts are soul contracts that are you've already learned the lesson, right? You've learned the lesson, you don't need to learn it again, and so it's no longer relevant in your life, okay? Soul contracts that have failed are soul contracts that are irreparable, right? They cannot be saved or rectified for whatever reason, okay? And some of the reasons can be that someone has, been injured, or even maybe died and left the planet. And so that soul contract, what are you going to do about that? Soul contracts that there has been an assault or an injustice within the relational soul contract that just cannot be redeemed. It's irreparable. Or maybe maybe you have a soul contract with a specific person to help build something on the new earth that you and this other person are supposed to be creating and building. And maybe one of you is like on mission and on task and has been doing all the work, and maybe the other person is like enslaved to an addiction or dealing with like extreme amounts of pride or self-pity or victimization, or maybe there's literally like an entity interfering with one person and they just can't shake the entity. You know, like there's a lot of entity interference going on the planet. And so some of these soul contracts, they're failed. Like they've failed, you know, and that's okay. Soul contracts are meant to be gifts. They're meant to enrich both people who are in the soul contract. And when they don't work out, that's okay, because actually the divine source creator knows that coming to earth is really difficult, and that some of the soul contracts that have been written are just going to not work out. And so there will be a clearing of outdated or failed soul contracts. Soul contracts that no longer need to have any bearing on earthly matters and affairs are going to be wiped and dissolved entirely into God Source's love. And then the exciting part is that new soul contracts are going to be written. Okay, these new contracts, I also heard that America in particular is going to have a huge influx of soul contracts changing and switching up. And these soul contracts are really meant to benefit and serve all of humanity. And specifically, these soul contracts are coming forth for people who have been on their path and they have been working diligently, and they have been trusting in divine guidance, and they have been like doing the work. And so all of these new soul contracts are going to be in total, I saw that they're in total harmony with the music of the spheres, meaning that they're taking into account the different ways the planets are going to be moving, and that they have the full support of divine will. Therefore, these are going to be very, very powerful new soul contracts that are coming into earthly existence. And I felt excited by this. I felt like what I was seeing was that all these people were going to have these life-changing soul contract moments, these destined soul-inspired meetings, and that these contracts were really being born from the human heart's desire to both be loved and to give love, and to be treated with care and kindness and respect, and to give care and kindness and respect, and to really serve God Source Creator's will, and to just bless humanity. And, you know, that's exciting. Like that's exciting. So we can look forward to that. Now, you can help with this process by speaking aloud, and even better if you write it with pen and bring it to earth. You know, maybe you have a soul contract with a certain person in your life. Like you just know those things if you energetically can feel that. And say that you're just like, you know what, I've done what I can to do my part of this soul contract, and the other person is, for whatever reason, not able to step into the contract. So you can say, I am done with this contract for this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, etc. And be really clear, and just like speak to your guardian angel and your spirit team and your guides, and let them know that like you wish that person the absolute best, but America in particular is really a pivotal place, like a pivotal place and moment and time for much of what is going on the entire globe. And there have been many, many high, powerful souls that have incarnated into this nation to help with what is going on right now. And if someone or many people are just, caught up in the muck and dicking around and like not on task, then the people that have been on task, they need to go forward because like the time is now. And so this lionsgate is really bringing that forth. Cool. Okay. Let me think here. Okay, I will be giving some light codes. These light codes are going to be for many different people that may watch this. And yeah, so I don't know how many I'll give, maybe 1 to 4, something like that. But it's always best when you're receiving a light code to have a nice tall spine and you can either sit or lie flat, either way is totally fine. And if you stayed all the way to the end of this message and you're just not interested in light codes, which is perfectly something that's great and fine, if that's the case, thumbs up, comment, send a cool friend that would resonate with the message. All of these things are so great and helpful. And if you'd like to stay, then let us begin. Niaswa itwas waswas esh wanakaina. Itwarabast minakutat ntuwet umtide ishwantatat ish na ishwantere ishwasanta. Ekita urupatest ataka ashk tak itko ushk ta rapatast. Inmaya korapataya ntakoros kadarigaya tukorapatakaya satara. Ishwasatante miaturpatate. Kia sototo rapatate, mia sotot net at utik isk tukurusk. Siatur bisk atukur iskask ekituku repetest amata repetest. Ekatagaesh katurgesk iskrgesk atukuresk tak ik ut at ik mia sototo. Okay, that is the first one. Now let us move on to the second one. Miato, miate, mia, hea tura hea hea he, kiarabasa he mahe. Kiaraba, tiarara, siadara, mahe. America, home of the free and the brave. America, America, home of the free and the brave. Hianana, siatata, kiaraba, sahe, Hiaraba, sahe, mahe. Hianana kiarara tiabahanda he mahe kiara miama heya mianana siatata kiara basha heya he America, home of the free and the brave. America, America, home of the free and the brave. Hiataha mianana kiaraha saheya hey. Okay, now let's do the next one. Nyatore ndoros indarabat utedeshk tatata mish iswatita rupatata miako rapatas ate makuya sataya ishwatare shataka tu rapatate miatu arapates indarashk iskaskuskask Tikadagash kaskaskusk ask isk ask. Oramataya shikayatuku rapataya sata ikiotu rapatatsk. Miasotutu. Eshwasasas. Ishasasas kiatututu. Miatu rapatast. Ik at ut aratat. At ut aratat. Siatu arapateshk tuku rapatas. Okay, that is the third one. And let us do the final light code. Miatu ati akiatuas. Iapa rapatast. Miatu rapatatast. Ikatagaya shututatust. Tikatagaya shikatagaya tukuriskeskeskandarask. Elapata wap. Ntokurub. Iskdag. Matukup. Pet. Miatukup. Arapatask. Tarapatask. Isk ask urapatakask. Shantirest. Mantarest. Kitadest. Chast. Ut. Miatua. The fish liked it. Hakia sutura. Kiaturast irekurask. Itakayask iskutka ishk. Sati atu arapatist. Ikatukushk take matka ask isk urbatkisk. Siata arapatatist. Miatura. Taripa. Ekotukushk skante. Rapatatist. Arupatatist. Arapatatast. Urapatatast. Go ishk wishk. Miatugu ishkaska. And so it is. Miatua kiatua sata arapatas. Okay. Happy Lionsgate, everybody. I hope you have a really beautiful season. And one thing that I want to talk about to finish and close here is that when two people have a very powerful soul contract, okay, I want you to imagine, like, you know, there's the source and then there's all these different soul source streams of light coming down, and each person is a different soul source stream, and each soul source stream has a unique and different mission or purpose. So when two people are in a soul contract to, you know, maybe do some type of service work on the planet together, or maybe to build something that would be of like an invention, or maybe to bring forth like a very special and magical child, a being, or to, you know, have like some type of a romantic union, or to, you know, there's all, like, we could go on and on and on, different reasons people have soul contracts. But when two people have soul contracts, there's like a, almost like a beam or a thread or a light stream that kind of keeps them together, keeps them, you know, within the electromagnetic signal of fulfillment of that soul contract. And so these soul contracts, what I'm seeing is that they're going to be faded out over eclipse season. And so the new soul contracts will be radianting, glowing, beaming in. I don't know the right word, shining forth. As the old soul contracts are leaving, the new powerful soul contracts are going to be growing in brightness and coming in. And so if you are somebody who is going to go through this during Lionsgate portal, you know, you can feel, it can be, if your body is energetically sensitive, you may feel that actually occurring within your field. And there can be tenderness, you know, there can be things that may come up. You could get a wave of grief or a wave of sadness, or you could feel opposite. You could feel elated and inspired and like bright, you know, it just depends. It's going to be different for all people, and you can even have soul contracts with places. But yeah, it's just feels like what it is actually like a divine restructuring coming down so that things can progress and move forward. as the divine knows that they should and that they will. And that is the end of this message. Again, if you stayed all the way to the end, so appreciative of a like, a comment. All of these things help. Okay, happy Lionsgate. Much love.